This one is actually one of my favorites. This one was also free. It was just scooped up from an event that my family attended. And it's from the Love Biketoberfest that is held in This one has a cork back so it doesn't slip and slide on your coffee table or dining room table. So I just was not used to seeing people dressed that formally for dinner, and all the waiters and wait staff had like those little mini suits that were very colorful. Most of them were like a forest green color, like I would traditionally see in older movies, or like Downton Abbey vibes. So that was definitely an interesting experience. And it's very simple. It just has the little logo, which is a horse and carriage, because everywhere on Mackinac Island you either walk, bike, or ride in a horse and carriage because no cars are allowed. And then it just says Grand Hotel, Mackinac Island, Michigan. So this one doesn't really have a story, unlike the previous coaster. I got this as just a free gift with an order from Sticker Mule, and their service where you can order custom stickers, pins, and packing tape. Really, anything is customizable that's not like a t-shirt. They don't do clothing, but any little knickknacks. And they just sent this little coaster because the one random thing that they do outside of their printing business is Mule Sticker sells a hot sauce. So this coaster advertises their hot sauce. So I grabbed this one just because I liked the graphic and it was a fun shape. So this one is a slice of pizza, and it's because the brewery was doing a pizza month, essentially. So they special design these coasters mystery is right here, and that's referring to the Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. And it says that it's Blue Ribbon for a reason. The judges only care about one thing: taste. No brand names, no labels, no pretense, and no other American lager has taken home more medals than Pabst Blue Ribbon. Let your taste decide. So if you're in Wisconsin, I guess you need to try Pabst Blue Ribbon beer. If you're legal age, of course. And then let's do one last coaster. And this one is ceramic. I believe my sister purchased this and gave it to my mom. And this one is from Grand Teton, which is a national park in Wyoming. And it's one of my family's favorite national parks. I've only been there once, but my sister has been there twice now, and it's very pretty. They have mountains, snow-capped mountains, and then they have multiple lakes, so you can go fishing, hiking. There's just a lot to do. There's nearby horseback riding too. So it's just a very fun place to visit. And if you're interested at all in national parks, I would suggest adding this one to your list. I definitely enjoyed it. And if you're in the Tetons, I would highly recommend making a stop in Custer, Wyoming. And Custer just has a state park, but it is gorgeous as well. And my fondest memory from that trip is that we visited when I was about 10, I believe. And we went on this horseback riding trip, but it was a very wild and just organic horseback riding trip. It was very free range, I think is the word. There weren't a lot of rules. There wasn't a set trail. We would literally be galloping. The horses would